G'day everyone and welcome back to the AFL Fantasy 360 YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be going over my updated team. A number of changes have been made since my first reveal, so I'll be explaining those changes and the reasoning behind them. So I'm going to try and keep this video nice and short and sharp for you. Obviously I rambled on a lot in the first video that I did, so we'll get straight into it. In the defense, no drastic changes have been made. I think it's going to be very vanilla this year in defense. Everyone's pretty much got the same defense besides like a couple of players that are in, like the Zach Williams and the Rory Lairds and whatnot, Jake Lloyds. But yeah, I think it's pretty much going to be the same. Obviously, everyone's got Doherty and Robertson and whatever. So the only change I've made since my first video is Will Gould's come in for Matthew Ling, who was on the bench. And now you'll see how I got that cash to be able to do that in the other moves that I made in my team. So that's the defense that stayed the same pretty much. The midfield, this is where it has changed a little bit. So I've locked in McRae and Dunkley pretty much now that obviously the news that Libba is out for round one. He'll be either in the VFL or he will be coming back from that knee injury. So he won't be playing in the AFL team in round one, which means that these two will continue on, hopefully from their last year's dominance. And I think the Doggies are going to surge up the ladder. If you have seen my ladder predictions, they are pretty high up there. I've got high hopes with them. So pretty much, so Cornelio and Mitchell and Callum Ward have all stayed the same. Now, the move that I made was I made one change for my midfield. That was Angs Brayshaw out for Trent Rivers. Now, obviously, Angs Brayshaw has got that elbow injury, which means that he will miss up to, I think, a month of training. He is still running, I think, but he's not in full training, which is a big worry. So I think so. I've now got 3 rookies in the midfield. Trent Rivers, his numbers, I looked at him, they've impressed me, so he's there for the moment. Obviously, that'll depend on selection. So I've strengthened up my forward line doing this as well, so I don't have 2 forward rookies anymore. I've only got 1, but we'll get into that once we get there. Into the rucks, they've stayed pretty much the same. Brodie Grundy, Riley O'Brien. Now, the one thing that I did change was I swapped Matthew Flynn in for Harry Conroy from the Gold Coast Suns. The reasoning behind this is Flynn is in his 4th season now, I think, and he'll be missing the first part of the season with that ACL injury that he suffered last year. So he's perfect for the loophole in the early rounds, and he has a big chance to play later, along with that Kieran Briggs, I think his name is, for the Giants. So I think obviously he's the next generation ruck for them. They don't obviously they've got Sam Jacobs now from Adelaide, and they also have Mumford, who's their other ruckman. I think Mumford, this will definitely be his last year. He's no good anymore. His body is just cannot take that sort of contact anymore. So in the AFL, so he's going to be hopefully getting some games later on, so which should save me a trade in theory. Obviously this could change, and yeah, so that's for the first 6 weeks. He should be the loophole. And I was looking at Sam Draper as well for this position, but he's no good for a loophole if anyone wants to use him. Obviously he's still got that knee injury, but Essendon have, I think, 3 of the first 6 Thursday night games, so he's really useless as a loophole. So I've got Matthew Flynn there. Now, to the forward line. Now, this has easily been the hardest forward line, or the hardest forward line that I've ever had to pick in AFL Fantasy this year, or at least so far. So obviously, I made a change. You see Hughie Greenwood there. He came in for a forward rookie by using the cash that I made from going Rivers down from Angus Brayshaw, and now I've got 2 primos, and I'll count probably Hugh Greenwood as a mid-pricer. So I've got 2 mid-pricers, 2 primos in the forward line. Lockie Whitfield, obviously, he's locked in. Dusty, he's been in and out, believe it or not. He's been absolutely, I think before this video, I think a couple of days ago, I put him back in. But after I made that first reveal, he was not in my team afterwards. I had Jack Stephen there, but obviously with the news that he has hurt his calf, and I'm just not sure how what his role is going to be. It'll obviously be a Marsh Cup watch for him about his role. I did read an article that Jack Stephen will be working his way through the forward line. Obviously, he'll be upping his midfield minutes as the games go on. So I just don't see him as value if that's the way that his role is going to pan out. Now, obviously, Hugh Greenwood there. I'm not sold at all on Hugh Greenwood. I did look at some numbers on Twitter the other day from Fantasy Freako, and look, they were impressive, but they also were in the sample. Oh, yeah, he's another one. He's just a Mars Cup watch. I'm not sure about him yet. Brayshaw, as I said in my first reveal, not sold. I've seen some people say he's got Callum Mills and what's his name, Andrew McGrath written all over him. Look, I can see where they're coming from, but look, I've seen him train. I've seen some footage of him training. He's looking really good. So that's another Marsh Cup watch there as well. And obviously the Jacob Townsend pick. I love Towner. Being a Tiger supporter, I absolutely love him. So he's going to be staying there as long as he's playing midfield. As a expensive rookie, I'm counting him as half a rookie. He's in his 8th season, I think. So he's not really a rookie anymore, but he's at a rookie price. Another guy I'm considering that for that position, if Townsend's not playing that mid role, is Nakia Cockatoo. Although I think he's yeah, I'm not sure about his fantasy scoring. So Townsend will be there for the moment. The rest has pretty much stayed the same, obviously minusing Ben Cavara. I'm really happy with just the one forward rookie, or 1.5 forward rookies on the field, because obviously forward rookies are, they're not the greatest scoring generally, or from past seasons, and then obviously Rankin and Hosey still there. That would depend on selection, and then Ned McHenry in that utility position as well. I am looking at maybe putting Starcevic in that utility position, swapping Rivers into the defence, Baito on the field, just switching that around a little bit just to get a DPP player in there. But for now, that's what I've got. So that's the team update. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed. I'll be putting out AFL Fantasy content throughout the whole of 2020 and beyond, hopefully. So let me know your thoughts on my team in the comments below. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Also, don't forget to chuck my Twitter a follow as well. I do use Twitter, do a lot of updates and that sort of thing. So when my videos come out, also other different news on AFL Fantasy as well. So that's that. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one, hopefully. Cheers.